this past August, I want to just sort of turn quickly, if I may, to a new website called HyperVocal. Slade Sohmer, our former executive producer here, one of the co-founders. He's, as I've often said, he is a liberal, and that is and that is being conservative in the use of the word. And we are delighted to have him here. The website received as well some considerable note mentioned in Mike Allen's playbook on Politico. Slade is up to his eyeballs, I'm sure, right now in politics. Slade, welcome back. How's it looking to you?
Oh, it's looking pretty good, Lou. I am ready for this election cycle to be over.
You're ready for it to be over? We got a ways to go. How's it going with the site? Getting a lot of traffic?
Yes, actually. Traffic-wise, we exceeded our wildest expectations, but that doesn't mean anyone listening out there should say, oh, they got enough traffic.
And check out hypervocal.com. Well, the election right now, we're seeing. I want to turn to this issue of fraud. We've been talking with John Fund here, of the Wall Street Journal, as you know, and also one of the, if not the leading, I think, journalists on the issue of voter fraud in the country. It's deeply troubling that we're seeing this many instances of at least the allegations of voter fraud, don't you think?
I do. My question about voter fraud this year is going to be, are we seeing more instances of it, or are we seeing more reported instances of it? I think between, Twitter and the Internet and cable news, we certainly have more outlets than we ever had. And I'm just wondering whether, vote early, vote often has been around for decades, speaking of Chicago-style politics.
Right. And by the way, Cook County's not being left out this year again, insisting that they move straight to the head of the line.
Absolutely.
I can't even begin to understand why the people of Cook County put up with that level of corruption. It's disastrous. To the integrity of course, of the electoral system, and it's why Cook County keeps producing the results politically and economically that it has. Well, what are the top stories you're focusing on right now? Top political stories you're focusing on hypervocal.com?
Well, top political stories, we have a few, one of which is continuing the coverage of the good old Kentucky race, where we had the unfortunate incident between a Rand Paul supporter and a liberal MoveOn.org member. So we're continuing the coverage on that. I especially enjoyed the supporter Tim Proffitt's excuse that he had a bad back, which is why he put his foot onto her. And
what was her excuse for being there?
She is an activist, and she wanted to get up in his face and put some funny signs in his face.
Well, how did that work out?
Yeah, well, she had to have expected some level of
stupidity,
as miscommunication.
How about some level of stupidity? When stupidity meets stupidity, somebody gets their shoulder stepped on quite often.
Absolutely, but when you've got a big guy versus a small woman, you never want to see anything come to that. My favorite story up on HyperVocal.
By the way, I want to make it really clear. I don't want to see it on any size woman, any size guy. I mean, this is not a part of the political process, but
sure.
it is part of the venality that is overwhelmed, I believe. Certainly MoveOn.org has a glorious history of being hyperactive, if I may use that expression.
Yes, absolutely.
Hyperactivist. And I can't understand what profit there is in that sort of confrontation. MoveOn.org should do its thing, and supporters of Rand Paul or whomever should be doing what they want. I mean, it's just craziness.
It is. Well, it's actually one of the reasons we started HyperVocal, and I said this last time I was on your show, but there's such hyper-partisan extremes these days, and we put up a great piece under a brand we call Hyper Talks, where we pick out bloggers from both sides and of an issue and show what both sides are saying. And the right was adamant that before it came out that it was Tim Proffitt, the right was adamant that this guy was a MoveOn plant and that it was anti-Ron Paul. And the left was adamant that she was absolutely, stomped on the head and It was this insane confrontation. We like to play ourselves as, I don't know, somewhat the arbiter of reason. I don't know who anointed us that title, but we'll take it self-proclaimed. It's just interesting to see these confrontations build up. You could see this for years now. This isn't, just an incident that happened. This is years worth of hyper-partisanship that is just unacceptable in today's climate.
Yeah, and because the extremes are now so powerful, and there's going to be obviously continued conflict. One hope it's not physical conflict, because that is just simply not the American way. It looks like the Hill, with its most recent report, shows a complete blowout for the Republicans come next Tuesday in the House. And it looks as though it's going to be a significant margin. Lots of things can change in 5 or 6 days. What do you expect?
I always take 538 in New York Times, Nate Silver. He predicted 49 of 50 states in the 2008 election and all 35 Senate races that year. He's got it at 231 Republican, 204 Democrat, which is a 52-seat pickup. I'm going to put it between 50 and 55 based on standing on the shoulders of statistical giants. I'll put it right in that range, 50 to 55.
Yeah, he had a heck of a record in 2008. And I love the fact that 52-seat pickup or 55, whatever it might be, you make it sound as though, Slade, that's a modest development. But my God, it was unthinkable 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Oh no, that's a blowout. That's an absolute blowout.
It's extraordinary. And this president has today and yesterday both acknowledged that effectively this is a referendum on his policies, saying he's not on the ballot, but his agenda certainly is. Why? What would he be thinking to even say such a thing?
Managing expectations. That's about all I got.
You got it. Well, Slade, we thank you for being with us. We wish you continued great luck on HyperVocal.com. Take care, my friend.
Lou, thanks for having me.
We're coming right back. Scott Rasmussen, he's going to